Hi, I'm John Byrne with Poets&Quants. Welcome to your Ultimate MBA Game Plan, sponsored by Fortuna Admissions, essential strategies to file the best possible MBA application to a highly selective business school. Today we're going to cover tips about the resume and the application form. And we have with us a really special guest, Judith Silverman Hodara, the former acting head of admissions at Wharton, and the co-founder and director of Fortuna Admissions, which is, of course, a dream team of former gatekeepers at the best business schools. Hi, Judith.
Hi, John. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Your days at Wharton probably really taught you all the ins and outs and secrets of getting into a great business school, because you were on the other side of the fence there and you saw probably people take their best step forward and their worst step forward.
Oh, yes. And really being able to understand what sets great applications apart from good ones.
Now, putting together a resume and filling out an application form actually seems like a fairly straightforward exercise. So what can possibly go wrong?
They are really important, John. It is working through your resume and your online application. These are not things that should happen like the night before you're actually applying to business school. And I've learned a couple of things, during my time at Wharton and now with Fortuna, that I think, we talk about very, very early on in the game with our clients and are pretty useful tips for students that are considering applying.
I imagine that the resume and the application form are the very first things an admissions officer reads before actually getting to essays and recommendations.
That is very true. And I kind of like to understand how those help to paint the full picture. And then I go back to all of the data that we're getting in the forms. And lastly, I look at the test scores because I never wanted to be swayed by those. But I really find now working with students and their resumes, how important it is to allow those resumes to come to life and to look at that and the online application as really valuable real estate.
Okay, your best tips, 3 essential strategies for putting your best foot forward in the resume and application form. What are they?
Less is more, especially in terms of the resume. So really judiciously curating the information so that it's not every last interaction you've ever had at work or every last project you manage, but the ones that you think help you stand out as a team player, as a creative person, as a thought leader. What is it about what you have done and what you are presenting to the world that's going to help you elevate in those two contexts? And for the second tip, show what you mean in your resume. So you don't want to use words like, I've done significant work, or I have excellent communication skills. So what does that mean? Did you present to a group of investors? What was it that you did that then led to you kind of to become a standout from your peers and other people on your team? Schools are looking to understand that you participated in X and this is what happened as a result. And then the last thing I would say, that third tip that I have is online application is going to complement what the resume says and give it a lot more depth, lots of details, not repeating everything word for word on your resume. And imagine someone sitting down with this file and thinking, hey, I really want to talk to this person. So that's what you're going for between your resume and your online application.
And I'll tell you, one of the big surprises, I've seen a lot of resumes from candidates, and many of them are so complicated and confusing that you can't kind of make sense of them. Like the sequence of jobs or what was actually done or what the time frame was.
Resumes are pretty straightforward, where they include education, extracurriculars, work experience, possibly at the bottom, activities and things that you've been involved with, organizations, and then should really be a chronological listing of what it is you've been involved with. It should not be colored. It should not have weird font. It should not have strange margins.
Is an MBA application resume different from a typical job resume, do you think?
I do think so. When you're looking at a job, they typically would like to see specific skills that you have, specific financial skills, coding skills, computer skills. Business school doesn't really care if you know how to run certain sequences. It's nice to know. It's not a have to know. Business schools typically want to know more about your teamwork, your leadership. They are going to be looking for different ways that you're going to be able to impact their community.
Judith, let's recap your 3 essential strategies.
So the first one would be, You don't need to give a million different examples. You want to give things that really matter to you, and you want to be able to go in depth into a couple of them. So 3 to 4 activities, totally great. You want to make sure that you can show and not tell, so that instead of saying you're an effective communicator or you have excellent presentation skills, you want to give an example of that. What presentation did you give that really helped you stand out to others? Were you selected to do this? Anything that's going to help you elevate yourself from your peer group. And lastly, the online application. Start it with enough time to mess around with it a little bit, more than a little bit, and make sure that you're using it as really valuable real estate so that it's complementing what you've already written in your resume. It's not a repeat word for word verbatim, and that you're using it as an opportunity to allow anyone that looks at it to pull out information that they might eventually want to talk about with you, for example, in an interview process.
All terrific advice. Now, Judith, how can candidates reach you?
We love talking to prospective applicants, and we have a free consultation available. You can meet with someone like myself or members of our team, and we are fortunaadmissions.com. There's a great way to sign up for a free consult. I have a pretty open schedule for the next couple of weeks and would love to have the opportunity to chat with you. Thanks so much.
So we've been speaking with Judith Silverman Hodara at Fortuna Admissions about the ideal resume and how to fill out your application form. This is all part of the series, Your Ultimate MBA Game Plan, sponsored by Fortuna Admissions. This is Byrne with Poets and Quants. Thanks for watching.